Well, this time of year can be hectic, especially if you are a fan of our national pastime. The NHL's Winter Classic between the Leafs and the Red Wings happens Wednesday afternoon. And one of hockey's most watched tournaments, the World Junior Championships, is also on. Joining me now to talk about what to watch for is Steve Dangle. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for coming in. You're wearing a Sochi piece of, like a sweater. It's so bright and...
It's a snazzy sweater, yeah. I got it from my Aunt Sharon. Merry Christmas from her, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's got us right in the sporting mood.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the World Juniors first. Canada hasn't done well in the past few years. I know they did well today. They came kind of a surprise, come from behind. What do you think's going wrong?
I started covering them during the overtime loss to the States, and they had a run of 5 straight going. So it's my fault.
It's
all
fault.
my fault. Yes.
So you should retire, and the team would do better.
That's 100% it. I'm only 25, but I think I'm finished.
Presuming you don't retire, what would you suggest is wrong with the team?
What I think, getting away from the X's and O's and the strategy and all that, I sometimes wonder if just making Team Canada has become the obsession of players and not necessarily performing well. Like it's kind of your golden ticket. Once you make Team Canada, you can say that you've been on them. But now that they've really struggled, like you said, for a few years, it's not good enough again. And you really see the joy and desperation when they're in games like they were today.
Well, today, and they managed to come from behind. How does this year's team look? I mean, they sort of had a weak start at this tournament. And now, today is a little bit of, as you said, joy in the darkness. But it's been a weaker start. I expect Canadians, maybe it's me, but I expect Canadian hockey teams to just constantly be fabulous.
Well, maybe they started to think that too. And that's why they need the wake-up call, I guess. But all the pre-tournament games, and I believe every tournament game so far, they've been scored on first. So they need to start much better. But... some curious roster decisions aside, they left off Ty Domi's son Max, who's a very skilled draft pick of the Phoenix Coyotes. They have talent. Jonathan Drouin, he took a bad penalty in this game, came back and followed it up with a goal. Nick Patan managed to get 2 goals to help Team Canada. The Winnipeg Jets, who drafted him, awarded him with a contract just today. And Anthony Mantha, Red Wings draft pick, has been somewhat of a revelation so far. So hopefully, if some other parts can click for Canada, if Montreal Canadiens draft pick Zach Fucale can be a good goalie in net, who knows? Maybe we joke about this and we go, hey, that was the team that started rough, but ended up with some gold.
Can they still do that? Is there still time in this tournament?
Oh, yeah. If they beat the States, I believe they win their pool and move on.
I hear the goaltending is, some people have said, is mezzo. It's not great.
Yeah, Patterson didn't start so well, and it's been kind of rough in recent years, Canadian goaltending. But Fucale has a Memorial Cup. I'm sure Habs fans are very excited about him, and hopefully it looks like he's the guy for now. He's a starter for now.
Okay. The tournament's being held here this next year. How popular is it here compared to the U.S. and Europe?
Well, I think the problem is it's not necessarily the tournament, it's the sport. It just needs to be bigger elsewhere. It would be... I think the tournament would be just as big as it is here if the sport were as big as it is in other countries. But
so we still love hockey, so it's a bigger deal here.
Oh, we're the number 1 hocky lovers. No one tops Canada in terms.
This brings us to the Winter Classic, because wasn't that started partially to get build fans in the States? It
definitely put hockey on a national platform in both the States and Canada. Never a problem getting it on the air in Canada. But I think you'll definitely see it New Year's Day with the amount of blue at the game. The Leafs have done this hashtag Sea of Blue on Twitter, and I think you'll see just how much Canada loves this game when you see how many Leaf fans made it over the border to support their club.
All right. The Leafs started the season really well, and then it seems like the wheels have fallen off. What's going on?
Regression. I think, well, okay, that's a very basic word. But they started too hot to maintain, if that makes sense. 10-4 in their first 14 games. That's lovely. It's great. I'm sure they're really happy they did it now, but you can't maintain that throughout the season. Ideal in the hockey blogosphere, and a lot of us labeled December Deathcember because they took on so many great teams. The Blackhawks, who they beat, the Penguins, the Bruins, I believe. They managed to squeak out a few wins where they gave up like 50 shots, but they come out of it, I believe, with a record of 6-6-2, which is .500, and they're in a playoff spot. Granted, the last wild card spot, but if they can hold the fort and stay just over .500, I think for the rest of the way, we'll see another Leaf playoff berth.
So you think that they can make the playoffs? What's your feeling on that?
I do. Well, it depends what team they go into the playoffs with, because a trade rumor just started to bud yesterday, and it really got some heat, I believe, about an hour ago with a few tweets. But apparently Nazem Kadri is on the block. Brian Burke's first draft pick as Leafs GM. So he was a big piece of the old regime, so to speak. So I wonder if these rumors have heat and if he's on the way out. And part of the reason is because newly acquired Peter Holland has just been playing so well. He could take a spot at center. So
it sounds like it's even though they started hot and they kind of had a bad December, we could see them start the new year off and build. Well,
the great thing about the Leafs is, or at least over the last couple of years, is nothing makes sense. So,
all right, Steve.
A lot of people are writing them off, which means they'll probably do well.
All right. Well, that wraps us up for tonight. That's Steve Dangle.